In this video, we're going to look at what a hash is. Now, a hash is related to an array, and one way to think about an array is that it's a special type of hash that the key part of it is the index. So, if I go ahead and create an array here, when I ask for x, say 2, remember that's the third position because it's 0, 1, 2. So it gives me the element that's at the third position because we start counting at 0. So our key, if you will, is the index, 2 in this case, relating to whatever the value is in there. Let me give you an example with some strings. Keep it simple here. So again, if I do x2, I'll get C. Remember, 0, 1, 2. So my key here is 2, and the value of that is C. Now with an array, you're stuck. The only key that you can use with an array is this integer, and you really can't change that value in any way. You can reorder these or whatever, and an array is inherently ordered. When you put it together, it's going to be whatever the order you put it together in. Now, what I'd like to introduce is a hash. So this is going to look complex at first here, but I'll explain it as we go here. So there I created a new hash. Now if you relate this first part here, the colon white, to the index, so in other words this would be 0 if it was an array, and this little guy just says, hey, map this to this value. And this is the value. So this is the key, and this is the value. So you'll hear that term called key value. These are also called associative arrays, dictionaries, and there's other names out there too. But essentially you have this key that has some value, and you can ask this hash for this key, and it'll give you this value. Now I just happen to use symbols here. We can do the same thing here. I can change this and use strings if I want, and it's going to be the same effect. Now I keep getting this error because of this right here, because of this space here, but you see now it's a string. So if I want to use a symbol like this, I'd have to convert it to a string first. The symbol just makes it a little bit handier for using it, and like I've stated in other videos, it's used a lot in, say, like Ruby on Rails to exchange a variable name back and forth. It's essentially an object that's named, and we've talked extensively about that, and there's actually big debates on the internet of what a string really is. But if you think about it, it's just a named object, and the name is the important part of it. But you can see, as far as the hash is concerned, it doesn't really care as long as it's got a key. Now we can redeclare this even and change this and make it an integer. So now we have this one, its key is 1. Now really, if we really want to get silly here, let me remove that space so it quits giving that error in here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put 0, 1, 2 here, and now my name of my hash is color. If I go in here and say 2, looks just like an array, but it's a hash. So if we go back and redeclare this using, say, our symbols, now when I do color and I want white, it'll come back with that value. So it's a convenient way for me to store something that has a key and a value. And that's what a hash really is. One other thing with hashes is they are not ordered. So you cannot depend upon whatever this order that you entered this in is going to be necessarily what you're going to get. And I was working on a project recently where I forgot that, and it got me into trouble because I kept thinking that this hash was ordered in a certain manner, and they're not. That's probably a major difference between an array and a hash, is that an array has that inherent order of those indexes, where a hash does not have any inherent order. It has nothing to do with how you created it or anything along those lines. And when you start going through it, if you're dependent upon some kind of ordering, it's going to burn you. So just be aware of that order can change without you knowing about it.